And it's the TG show. Man, my bad, y'all. I'm good though. I'm good. And I feel like a real man should. Pretty Petty Tuesday all up in the house. Daily Go Getimism show. I'm your host, Sun752. Today, on this Pretty Petty Tuesday, the 30th, the 29th of August, we are talking about ain't ever been married, ain't ever been asked, you ain't never been married, ain't never been asked, ain't never been engaged, ain't never walked up. You know what I'm talking about, and don't apply to them all, but when there is doubt in the minds of somebody who don't want to make you day kind but still shine, well, we're going to take a look at it. Let's get popping. Let's get it popping. All right, so today, on this August 29th, rest in peace, birthday shout out to Michael Jackson. You know, elephant in the room. I know everybody's thinking like, yo, man, it's Michael Jackson's birthday. That's what y'all was thinking, right? So I figured, I would get it out of the way soon. Out the gate. Rest in peace and happy heavenly birthday, Michael Jackson. So check it out, man. Marriage is a big deal to a lot of people. Absolutely. And it should be a big deal for a lot of people because we are talking about the strongest institution in the whole entire world. Marriage is the most respected institution and partnership in the whole world. It's the one partnership that is recognized each and every corner of the earth without a doubt, without dispute, especially when it's a legal marriage. But even when it's not, many people respect the institution of marriage, and they will let you know that that's how they feel. That's how they feel inside. That's how you feel it. So we're gonna talk about when, and what happens when someone has never been married and has never been asked to be married. Never been married, never been asked to be married. Now, this is going to be a difference between men and women because there is a difference between the approach to marriage that men and women have. The way that men look at marriage and the way that women look at marriage is can be different. It can also be similar and maybe many times the same. But the way that married men and married women, whether they are currently married or have been married before, the way that they look at people who have never been married is very, very different. I don't think it's a secret that the majority of women who have been married look at themselves as having accomplished something. Whether or not the marriage went well, whether they had children, whether it was a happy marriage, whether it was a lucrative marriage, it doesn't matter. Most women want to be able to say that they've done it at least once. At least once. They want to say that they have completed that mission. With men, it's not exactly like that. It's not exactly like that. Men want the best possible situation in which marriage will happen. Most men. Now, sure, there's some men who are the marrying type, and they just marry everybody. Some men marry multiple women at one time. Sometimes with the knowledge, sometimes without. Nonetheless, a man doesn't necessarily look at himself as being the master teacher of relationships because he has been married the way a lot of women do. And a lot of women do that. A lot of women look at unmarried people like they don't know what time it is. Like, you can't really tell me nothing about relationships if you ain't never walked that aisle, if you ain't never signed that paper, if you ain't never make that thing legal, if you ain't never been asked, if you ain't never complete that mission. A lot of women look at it like, can't nobody who ain't never been married tell me nothing about marriage, and I mean nothing. and they can't tell me nothing about relationships because you ain't completed. So I don't care how many men you've had, how many women you've had, how many times what you have accomplished or what you got out of anything. If you ain't been married, then you don't really know nothing about relationships. Well, you don't know as much. Now, of course, everybody's approach to marriage isn't that way. And that doesn't apply to all women, but it does apply to a lot of them. You'd be hard pressed to tell a woman who has been married before anything about marriage if you ain't never been married. You'd be hard pressed to tell a woman who is married anything about marriage if you ain't married no more. Men are a little bit different. In the back of every man's mind, they always wonder if they made the right choice in marriage. Like, it's kind of like, and this is not a diss, but men often wonder if they did the right thing, if they found the right one, and they kind of find themselves waiting for the other shoe to drop. And that's when even in situations where they know they got a rider, they know that they picked the right one, there's always that fear that somewhere down the line, everything is going to fall apart. Everything is just going to... No disrespect to anybody. Everybody, no disrespect. So that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked. If a woman has never been asked to be married and has never been married, does her ego take a hit? Does her self-esteem take a hit? I think that for some, yes. For others, maybe not as much. You know, and there are also other factors that may influence the way that a woman may feel about this whole phenomenon, like her age. If a woman is 30 years old and has never been married and never been asked to be married, it's probably not that extreme. 30 and under is probably not that much of a big deal. She may have had things going on where maybe that wasn't the thing that she was looking for or the thing to do. So she might be satisfied and content that nobody asked her to be married, because maybe she would have considered doing it and it may have derailed something that she might have been trying to do. But I think that after 30 years old, if a woman reaches 40, ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to be married, she's probably thinking like, well, there's probably some soul searching that needs to be done. Like, am I worthy? Because you're going to watch a whole parade of women who probably aren't as pretty as you, aren't as smart as you, aren't as worthy as you, aren't as gifted as you are. And you like, they done walked down the aisle twice. Would have still been married if her husband hadn't, I don't know, gotten a terrible fatal accident or something like that. So there's a difference. It's different. It's different. So that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show. Let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily. The Daily Go Getimism Show. We do this every single day. Every day it rains. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains and the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Getimism show all up in your area. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show, we are talking about ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. What? I said I ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Well, you asked her, ain't asked me. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. My sister got married, cousin got married. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Damn, my grandmother wasn't married. My mom was. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Whole family of hoes not posed. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. What's wrong with us? I mean, what's the discount? Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Well, this is different. I mean, I guess I could. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Got too much pride to ask me a man. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Never been married, ain't never been asked to. Never been married, ain't never been asked to. It be like that sometimes, son. It be like that sometimes. What y'all know? What do you know about never being married, never being asked to? Shoot, there are a lot of people that I know that look at their bad marriage, the one that they had, the one where they got totally screwed in. They like, well, but I did it though. It was like that though. Yeah, there were other kids that came out of the marriage, and I ain't even had no kids. And then while we talking about ain't not even had no kids, what do you think? If you think that either one of them is suspect, questionable, bad, what do you think is worse? Never having any kids or never being married? Because I know people who have never done either. But I definitely know more people who haven't been married than people who haven't had any kids. But if you had to pick one, not necessarily for yourself, if you had to pick one for somebody else, what would you pick if you weren't not able to pick both? Which one do you think is worse? Never ever getting married or never having kids? Do, 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 boom. Care Bear says never having kids. I can understand why you would think that one was worse. And here are some of the reasons I think that this would be a good choice as being worse. A lot of times when a person doesn't have children, it's not always because they didn't want to bring children into this world. A lot of times people who are able to bring children into this world don't want to because they don't believe that they could produce offspring that would be better than them, or they don't believe that this world is good enough, or they don't think that they could have children that would be able to make it in this world in a happy way, or they could just be straight up selfish. Nonetheless, there's normally something going on inside when people who are able to have children don't have children. And I'm not going to speak for them. I'm only going to go by the examples that I've heard about, seen, witnessed, observed, those kind of things. And when you don't bring children into this world, you don't contribute to society as much as people who bring children into this world. And there is no doubt There is no denying that you contribute to society. Just in terms of math, you contribute to society when you have children. You put more people into this world than there were without. When you get married and don't have children, well, getting married by itself is not necessarily contributing to society one way or another. And maybe I'm saying that prematurely. That doesn't necessarily have to be true. Maybe I just feel that way or think that way. Maybe I can be straightened out on it, and I welcome that. I welcome that. So, but I look at it like when you bring children, when you have children, you contribute to this world. You contribute to this society. You contribute to this community. You contribute to the school system. You know, you contribute. You put somebody in. When you get married, it's the same number of people. Maybe it's a different number of married people, but it's the same number of people. The population remains the same. Y'all was already here. Y'all was already here. Care Bear says too many women have a timeline, and that timeline can sometimes be a deterrent for a man. Interesting. Interesting. Honestly, I think that most men feed into it. At some point, for some woman, most men say, yeah, you know, you're kind of right. You're kind of right. Even if they don't want to do it. Most men, even a slick hustling man, will put a ring on a woman's finger just to keep her as a placeholder. Like, look, you, all right, got the ring. We ain't going to set the date for another 10, 15 years. But you got the ring. We good. You wifey for all practical purposes. We might reach common law before we actually do it. But there's no doubt that if I do it, I'm going to do it with you. I say no doubt, even though I know men who have gotten engaged to one woman and still married another woman. But that don't mean nothing, because I grew up, witnessing a whole lot of trifling situations. So don't listen to me. Just because I seen something don't mean nothing. I'm going to repeat that. Just because I seen something don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. I'm going to totally invalidate my experience. Tonight, tomorrow I'll be back with some shit. But tonight, nope. It don't matter what I say. Don't matter. Care Bear says, even if she doesn't admit it, if she hits a certain age and dudes have procreated with her but never asked for marriage, she definitely feels some kind of way. Shoot. I know women who feel some kind of way if you just never made them your girlfriend. They will spin the block on you like, what is it about me that makes me unworthy of being somebody's girl? Why do I always have to be a side chick? Why do I always just have to be the girl that you date? I've heard women complain about that. You see it on social media. They don't really, out of all the trifling, all the bullshit, all the personal business people put on social media, that's one of those things you have to read between the lines with. Read between the lines. You got to get in between them lines to really see what a person is saying, or to really hear what a person is saying when they are online and they're talking about that situation. Yeah. But they are, yeah. It's legit. But what I'm saying is, if they can be that lamenting, that sensitive about just never being somebody's girl, you mean to tell me that they don't feel no kind of way about not being asked to be married? Like, look, I mean, like I've been reduced. I've been reduced to a 6-pack and a chicken platter on Friday or Saturday nights. Look, man. When you know, you know. But a woman will spin the block and ask a man, well, how come she got and I didn't get? So it would be hard for me to believe that she watching a whole parade of her sisters, cousins, and friends get married, or at least asked to be married, and she never get that. Like, fuck that. I done seen women copy off of each other's living room furniture. You ain't gonna tell me they ain't envious of motherfucking marriage. I ain't bullshit neither. One person get the tree stump, the laminated, shellacked out tree stump coffee table with the glass top. All the girlfriends get a version of that shit. I don't know about now, but that's how it used to be back in the day. Oh, they used to be niggas used to be copying off each other's living room furniture. I got the brown leather sectional. She got the cream. What you talking about? That's right, the coffee table. Remember a popular coffee table back in the 90s was the painted stone looking coffee table. That was the stand. It was a stone painted, and it had like a ball that the glass sat on top of. You know how many houses I've been into of people who knew each other that had that. Well, I ain't gonna get the coffee table. I'm just gonna get the end tables. Well, I ain't gonna get the coffee tables or the end tables. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get the lamps that went with it. You gonna tell me you copy off of somebody else's leather couch, velour couch, but you don't feel no kind of way about their marital status? Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked to. Kevin says, I have some really gorgeous cousins who have never been asked, and it bothers them because they wonder how less attractive women are in marriages. Okay. Shirley Sure, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Sure, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. What's going on, ma? How you feeling? Never been married, never been asked to. What you mean? Ain't no nigga ever asked you to marry him. What's going on? What's going on? I mean, I think that would have a woman questioning her whole existence. You run around here talking about your twat is all that. Ain't nobody try to wipe that twat, try to lock it down. Might like me get a nigga always come around. I ain't trying this, but look, I mean, shoot. I know it's hard for a lot of women to, ask themselves the hard questions. It ain't always easy. You might ask, is my shit really all that? I mean, when a dude got trash dick, he got to ask himself, You gotta come to grips. He might feel like, his sex game is really all of that. If he could hold a nut more than like 30 seconds. But he know the fact that he can't hold it for more than 30 seconds. He can try to concentrate on what happened within them 30 seconds. He might be like, yo, man, I be tearing that ass up for that first 25 seconds. It's just, man. I just peter out, literally, pun intended. I just peter out around that 27 second. I be trying to hold on second 29, but whew, I don't know, man. But I'm really working with some top quality shit. If I could just multiply the 30 seconds times 5 and get like 2.5 minutes on, boy, man, I'd be a superstar. A superstar, but he didn't get far. A superstar, but he didn't get far. A superstar, but he didn't get far. Bust off 30 seconds having sex in the car. Superstar, but he didn't get far. Superstar, but he didn't get far. Superstar, but he didn't get far. Bust off 30 seconds in the back of the car. What a quickie. He defined the quickie. That shit was kind of crazy, man. Kind of sick. He getting it. He was holding up 30 seconds. Those 30 seconds, the record, the minute, the win it. Yo, he ran it back, rewinded and spin it. Yo, the shit is bad. I said it was going to be a quickie in the back of the car. It was really a quickie in the back of the car. Everybody can enjoy everything on the same level. Come on, give me another chance. Everybody can enjoy everything on the same level. Yo, get I'm just never been married, never been asked to. That's what we talking about. Never been married, never been asked to. What do y'all know? What do you know? So women who have been married before, I don't give a shit if they got divorced all the way back when they was 23. They got married when they was 22 and a half. And they was only married for enough time to be able to get an annulment, but they did it. They did it. You ain't gonna be able to tell that woman shit if your unmarried ass, you know what I mean? By the time she get like 39, 42, she ain't trying to hear you talk about nothing in a relationship like it's all that. You ain't never been married. She like, look, I got stamped. I got stamped all the way back in 1994. That's right. Got pictures. Bing. 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 I remember. Y'all remember when MySpace was out? When MySpace was out, I remember I had a friend on MySpace, and this chick she posted pictures. I guess she wanted everybody to know that she had been married before, so don't get it twisted. She had pictures of her ex-husband. She put pictures of her ex-husband up and called it the X-Files. So just so y'all know, I ain't on here all thirsty. I've been married before. I know what it is. At least that's the way I took it. I remember like the X-Files, huh? Even gave it a cutesy name, recognizable, the X-Files. So she wanted everybody to know, yeah, I was married before, and this is what he looked like. I thought, you look at social media today, and you look at the things that we share and how ridiculous it is at the age that some of us are doing things. Then you look at, this was all the way back like 2006, 2007, something like that. And I remember thinking to myself like, I guess she felt like she had to do that. She had to do that. The X-Files. I was like, It was multiple pictures too. This was MySpace. We never followed each other to Facebook. But can you imagine? I still got a MySpace account. If I could only remember my My password. Care Bear says, I am proud of having been wife, even, even though I haven't always wanted children or marriage. Shirley Cheryl says, I remember MySpace. My page opened up with self-destruction. We're headed for self-esteem. That's what MySpace was doper than Facebook. It was dope. I remember my page, I had a few songs on there. I would change it. And I remember for a while, my song on MySpace was Nobody Does It Better. Yeah, I said Carly Simon, baby. The theme from The Spy Who Loved Me. Nobody does it better. Even though sometimes I wish that they would. Care Bear says, I still have a MySpace. I can't remember my password. I can't remember. I mean, MySpace was dope. I mean, it was like having a real website. One time, I used to like the rapper Papoose. I still like him, but to me, he was so dope. I was like, yo, this dude got it. I had this song on there before. Kevin says, mine was You're a Shining Star. You're a shining star. That's who you are. Erwin 5. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked. Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked. What? Ain't never been married, ain't never been asked. Ain't nobody asked you to take the task or walk the aisle. They may have given you a child or two or maybe even three, but you can get no MARRIAGE. Well. Whoa. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Is it a big blow to a woman's ego if they never get married, never been asked? Gabriel says, I have a question. As serious as cancer. Who can keep the average dancer hyper than a heart attack? Nobody's smiling. All right, what's the question? What question is? But yeah, now if a man proposes and never receives a yes, I know that would be a blow to his ego, because when a man proposes and the answer is no, a lot of times the relationship is over at that point. I never really understood why, but then again, I understand exactly why. I never understood why, but I get it. And I understand totally why. Gabriel says, when dating, how do men view women who have never been asked and never been married? As a man, I don't think that we give a shit. Now, if you've been married before, I think that we know that your expectations probably will be to do it again. Because even women that I know who said that they didn't want to get married again, Even women that said they never wanted to have no more kids. So normally, speaking from a man, and I guess for men right now, if a woman has been married before, if you're dealing with a woman who has been married before, you probably are thinking as a man that she's probably going to want to do this again. Very rarely is a woman totally discouraged from being married again if she's still dealing in serious relationships or seeking out meaningful relationships with men. That's what meaningful relationships head towards, right? You're getting ready to get married. Go to the chapel and we're going to get married. Go to the chapel and we're going to get. Now, if a woman has been proposed a bunch of times, proposed to a bunch of times, the only way a man is going to know that is if she tells him. And he probably would be thinking, I know I would be thinking, well, what are you telling me all that for? Why are you telling me that you've been proposed to all these times? Now, if going by your question, if she's never been married and never been asked to be married, he would only know that by her telling him that. And if she shares that with him, like nobody's ever asked me to marry him, to marry them, or I've never been married. By the time y'all probably get into that conversation, a man has probably figured out why. Because it ain't that hard to tell. There's something a little consistent about a woman who ain't ever been married and never been asked to be married. A lot of times they have some hangups, some quirks. It's not just about them being mean or disrespectful, or it's like this is just not the type of woman that's built for the long haul or to even take the chance. Like this one ain't the one. Let me be the one you give your love to. Like, by the time that she probably gets around to telling him that she's never been married, never been asked to be married, he can probably see why. Like, it could be that the twat don't match her crazy. Like, the quality of the ass is just not equal to the level of craziness that this one is giving out. Like, I can't put up with all of that. I can't put up with that kind of attitude. I can't put up with that demeanor for that kind of ass. And she might have the nerve to be holding out on that ass. And it's like shorty, this ain't even worth waiting for. And you acting a fool? And you want a bunch of money? But it is still odd because there's a sucker born every minute. So you mean to tell me that every man you dated, every man you messed with was a wise guy? They were logical like that? None of them thought with their dick or their heart? But they ain't. My late great father always said, somewhere along the line, some woman is going to catch you out there and make you do it. And he meant that shit. He stood by it. He definitely lived it. Some woman is going to influence you to go ahead and ring the alarm. to pull the line. Like somewhere along the line, somebody is going to be good enough for you to say, you know what, fuck that. Even if I don't become a better man out of this, but I'ma still, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be a bad man with this one. So, and I think what he said was true. I think the way he felt was pretty overall accurate. But time is a factor. Time is a factor, and everybody doesn't operate on the same timeline. So whereas some men might make the bulk of their mistakes when they are in their teens and 20s, some men may wait later. Care Bear says, my brother thinks that there's something wrong with women like that. He might not be wrong. He might not be. Like I said, there's normally something consistent. Like nobody tried to wifey you. I know some men who never had children. Forget about getting married. Well, I was about to say that the same men that I know that never had children never been married, but that's not true. I know a few who broke the chain. But the men that I know who have never had kids, there's something consistent about them. And it ain't a good thing. They're not bad men per se, but there's something consistent about them with that, something suspect. Not gay suspect, but suspect like, yeah, I can kind of see why. Yeah. But like no slip-ups? Maybe no slip-ups, or maybe an abortion, maybe multiple abortions, whatever. Like it's probably best that they didn't bring no kids into this world. Not that they're total outlaws or anything like that, but because outlaws, bad guys, they always have a bunch of kids. I ain't never seen no bad niggas that ain't had no kids. Fight me, dispute me, argue. What niggas do you know that totally ain't shit that don't have no kids? I don't know no ain't shit niggas over 30 that don't have no kids. But I know some suspect, quirky, like what the fuck is up with him? I know some of them that made it to 40, no kids. But there's something consistent about them. Consistent, not all the way on the level. At least the ones I know. Care Bear says, not all of us look to get married again. You're right. Not all of y'all. At least, but in the right situation, most of y'all would say, okay. So y'all might go 10, maybe even 20 years single if you have the time to spare it. But when the right motherfucker come along again, that never want to get married shit, it'd be more like, well, I'll take a shot. Like fuck around and marry your homeboy. Y'all was never even like that. Stop fucking around like, you know what? Yeah, we can do this. I've known it to happen, or at least be taken into consideration. I married my homeboy. We was barely dating. It's safer. Care Bear also says, it would take an extraordinary man for me to get married again. Well, look, I get it. I do. I get it. Now, I asked the question like, did it take an extraordinary man for you to get married the first time? Now, sometimes we learn from our mistakes and all that kind of stuff, or we take personal inventory, things like that. But our expectations take us to places. Sometimes they take us to places that we want to be. A lot of times they take us to places we wish we had no part of. Row, row. No part of it. No part of it. So, yeah, a lot of times, well, let me put it this way. In my family, that that first marriage is one bad. It's like handball. One bad, you got a bad serve. You can't you can't take away a point for that. One bad, that first marriage is like a warm up. And it ain't just my family. I've heard that. I've heard that from multiple people. Like that first marriage, your expectations are all over the place. They're grounded in a different place. That second marriage is the one. That's the one where you better know better. Like that first marriage is the fool me once, shame on you. That second marriage, a lot of times that second marriage, you try to be the navigator of that marriage. Like you might have been the submissive one in that first marriage. Like, well, I did it. It's not that I didn't want to do it, but I did it because I felt like that was the thing to do. That second marriage, uh-uh. It's like, it's almost like I went to college. I went to college when I got out of high school, and I didn't really do my work, and I wind up flunking out of college. When you go back to school, when you're a returning student in your 30s, your 40s, even 50s, like I ain't playing around this time. Shit. I couldn't even get my associates when I got out of high school. This time I ain't got my associates, my bachelor's, my master's, my doctorate. I couldn't do that in my 20s. I can do that in my 30s and my 40s. I'm ready. I'm more serious. I'm more focused. I know what I want exactly. Back then, I just wanted to be married. I just thought that I could do one thing and things would magically fall in place. Not so much after I've gotten some years and some experience, some wisdom. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean. Okay. All right. So, never been married, never been asked to. I don't know how much of the population that this applies to, but I would imagine that it's a small percentage. But the percentage that it it is comprised of is significant. Well, who do you owe being married to? People can judge you the way they want to judge you, but how do you adhere to the judging? What does it mean to you? People, I mean, you may have never been married, you may have never been asked to, but does that translate into you never having good, healthy relationships? If you've never had good, healthy relationships, it might have been a good thing that you never got married because then you would have had a unhealthy marriage. But if you've never been married, never been asked to be married, you probably shouldn't go around married people or people who have been married before, getting on your high horse and telling them what they should do in a relationship. They ain't trying to hear you talk about somebody or something falling on deaf ears. They ain't gonna hear nothing you got to say, shorty. Like, the fuck out of here. Now, that's not true for men. That's not true for men. Men who got married, they don't consider themselves to be no relationship experts. They don't. Like, yeah, a nigga will take all kinds of advice about his marriage. I'm like, And once again, that's not saying that men don't value their marriage, but they just don't consider themselves to be a Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, just because they got married the way a lot of women do. That's all. 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 We got some birthday shout outs. Yes, we do. I got a couple of them, and I'm gonna read them to you. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious August 29th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. My good brother, cuz. He's a brother, cuz brother, cuz brother. Fred Neal, Big Truck, DJ Big Truck. Fred Neal, turning 53 years old today. Happy birthday. Me and my cuz are like almost exactly 2 weeks apart. Ain't that a crazy thing? All right, happy birthday to you, my brother. And also, Angelique Dees Pierce, happy birthday to you. And Ricardo McIntyre, no relation, but what up, cuz? Turning 40 years old today. And Lee Burgess, my man, turning 55 years old today. And Shanique Messiah, turning 43 years old today. And Carissa, or should I say Caressa, or should I say Carissa, R. McIntyre, no relation. But what up, cuz? And also Rochelle Grant, my people's Rochelle Grant from Philly to Texas. Happy birthday to you, Mom. And Louise Scrutchins, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, Achilles Cedric Seco Curtison, turning 59 years old today. I want to say happy birthday. Happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious August 29th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. I rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do the thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, listen, peep it, listen to this, listen to this. Never been married, never been asked. It doesn't mean that you got trash ass. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy. It doesn't mean that you are not good enough, but it's tough when nobody asks you to be part of the party, even if it's a pity party. You want to be like party arty, but it's going to be okay. Still do your thing. You still going to be a queen or a king. And brother, if she turns you down and you want to be around her for the rest of your life and make it your wife, well, things come and go, and this is going to be all right. You got to find another star to be in your show. And they will come around. Somebody will recognize your worth and be your main earth. That's my earth. I call my old earth. What up, baby? We've been down since the birth. All right. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow with another daily Go Get Mism show. So make sure y'all come on through. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it to y'all. So, you make me so. You make me so. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. Peace.